Welcome to thestockminer.com. I'm Brian Johnson, and we wandered around again today. Still no real movement within the markets themselves. First couple days coming off that Christmas weekend. I expect to see some movement. Could see that tomorrow, actually, but for the time being, we're not seeing anything or any major moves within the market itself. We see here that starting Monday, we hit this support and have just been grinding our way upwards. I talked about it. That's all we've seen. Move up, move sideways, move up, move sideways, move up, and we could be moving sideways for a little while yet. Precisely what we have been seeing. We did make a new high today of 11,591, but still not even reaching that 11,600 mark. This is why I'm very cautious to the upside right now. I just don't see any reason to try to pull those last few pennies out of it. However, you take a look at the daily on the Dow, and you can see a nice move up. Straight move sideways, move up, move sideways, move up, and this is moving sideways. So history has taught us that there's no reason to think we couldn't move up even a little bit more from here. So no matter of whether or not you want to try to play that, by all means, if you have been long for quite a while, why not move your stops up, maybe keep it below 11,500, something like that, and just let this market work its way out. Seems like it does want to try to grind its way upwards into the end of the week and into the end of the month and into the end of the year as we move forward. And that might be exactly what we see. So more sideways motion, not giving us anything as for indications. However, you know how I am about this if you follow me for any length of time. If we move up and sideways, I have to remain neutral to more bullish on the markets. NASDAQ 60-minute doing the same thing, seeing us touch this overhead area, but notice we did not get above it. NASDAQ not making a new high here, not making it above that 2240, still stuck within this trading range. So here we are, up, sideways, just different trading ranges as we move higher. NASDAQ from a daily standpoint doing the same thing. It was down today. Believe it was the only one down of the two indices, yep. The NASDAQ composite was down. S&P Dow were up, but barely. Most everything right at break even, and you can see this just looked like a little pullback here. Now another slight move up to sideways, really not going anywhere. See, we're still just wandering sideways. If you've been playing this thing from back here around the 2200 area, we're 27 points in the last 2.5 weeks. This market is just really trying to sputter its way into the end of the year, I believe. Weekly, won't talk about that yet, a little ways off for that. SPX 60 minute, nothing much to show here. As you can see, 1259 not making a new high. We did not break that 1260 mark. We came awful darn close. I do take that back. 1259.90. It's not being reflected on my stock charts. We did get to 1259.90, so we did make a new high, but you can see just not breaking the 1260 mark. It's really getting hung up there. Continue to watch that. Any push up above 1260, then, 1265, 1270, I would say, for your next overhead areas. But even so, a slow grind upwards. Look at this. Much as what we saw back here. Swift move down, consolidation, big move up, and now grind our way upwards. Very, very, very slow move by the markets. Volume is starting to taper off here. Really kind of to be expected coming into the end of December, which is also the end of the year. Keep in mind that there will be no day taken for New Year's. This is kind of an anomaly within the markets where a lot of times, if New Year's is on a Saturday or Sunday, they'll take like a Friday off. But in this case, because it's end of the month and end of the year, obviously they're not going to take a day off. So trading on Friday, trading on Monday. Anomaly, doesn't happen very often. So keep in mind that trading will happen all week long and start again on Monday. As I said, looks like we're just consolidating up here, and as long as it stays up here and we don't start breaking 1245-ish type areas, should be just fine from the bull side. Weekly, same thing. Looks like it still wants to try to chug its way up at least one more week, and this could actually go on for a few more weeks. We could see this into the first couple weeks of January, actually. With this little move to the upside. Okay, down was the VIX. As I said, what was common? Move up in the VIX, move up in the markets. Move up in the VIX, move kind of sideways in the markets. Today, move down in the VIX, move sideways in the markets. The VIX, I think, is just playing itself out. Because we're coming into the end of the year, I do believe there is some jockeying. I do believe there is some positioning going on within the options market. and I think it's having a profound effect on the VIX itself. But I don't know if it necessarily is some sort of a precursor to a larger move one direction or another. Now, we know we're in for a pullback, and maybe they are positioning themselves for that pullback at this point. But as for the VIX itself, we're not seeing any confirmation yet within it. As I've talked about before, VIX up, market up, VIX goes down. VIX up, market up, VIX goes down. VIX up, market up the last few days. And now the VIX is going down again. So, still no real fear coming into the markets whatsoever from a VIX standpoint. Let's see if this upper line holds. We've had good luck in these two lines here on the weekly, as kind of discombobulated as they are. They still have been doing a pretty good job of holding price, holding areas, and let's see if this actually holds above that blue line. Otherwise, most of what we've seen is drops back into this formation from a weekly standpoint. So we'll see if the VIX tries to drop out here by the end of the week. Apple 60-minute was up a whopping 79 cents, just breaking to new highs at the beginning of the day and then pulling back again. Very, very slow, methodical grinds to the upside for almost all the markets in this, especially the NASDAQ market now that Christmas is over. You can see it moving up. Up is up, but grinding its way upwards. Very, very slow. For those of you that play Apple because you love the movement, you love the motion of it, well, there's just been nothing to talk about, really. Just same levels. 320, 318, 315 to the downside, above 325, 326 to the upside. Still opportunities to play it. Just it is Apple. It's usually strong. Just be very cautious playing anything long in here. From a weekly, though, looks like it might want to try to make a run this week. So if nothing major from a bearish side happens tomorrow, I would continue to look for maybe some grinding, as it were, by the bulls into the end of the week. FAS 60-minute showing us a tap of this upper blue line. This was this overhead area I was telling you to watch. From the 60-minute, it was very clear where this overhead resistance was at. The daily looks much more bullish than the 60-minute does. So I'm getting a big divergence within charts. When I see that, I am always very cautious. I don't like to see divergences within charts. I always prefer to see convergences within charts, and I'm not seeing that right now within the financials. So the 60-minute looks like a big kind of a channel slash maybe rising wedge at this point, holding very nicely to this overhead area. You can see we tapped it today. Above 28.25 was one area to be watching. A high was 28.24, so you know that is good resistance up here for the time being. From a daily, though, you can see this still is holding the 27 area, and now just kind of wandering sideways, but still, after yesterday's bullish engulfing pattern, no real confirmation today. So very, very it's just tough trading within the financials right now. If you're an FAS, FAZ type trader, you must be cautious in either direction, I believe. Breaks back below 27. Okay, now we have an entry, I believe, on FAS from a bigger standpoint. And maybe above 28.50 now. Let me widen that range a little bit and get a little bit more conservative on you. I like to be more conservative in my trading. FAZ then to the downside, as you can see, not quite making it back to the bottom side of this, but pretty darn close. Awful close with this little tail down here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little tail on this candle here. Almost touches this blue line, and you can see it slowly drifting its way downwards as well. That could be a channel falling wedge. Point being, we are still stuck below here. As long as it stays down, it is still bearish. As long as the FAS stays up towards its highs, it is still bullish. The trends are still working their way out, and at this point, they're still relatively good trends at this point. So from an FAZ point, if you're looking for shorts, stay with what we were talking about below like 930-ish or so. To the downside, to the upside, above 10 and or above 1050 are your two entries on FAZ. That'll do it for today's video. Yeah, just more wandering sideways within the markets, not to be unexpected. We talked about it this weekend. I do expect some trading, and I mean at least a decent day of trading. Maybe that comes tomorrow, potentially Thursday. I would think we'd get at least one half-decent day out of this. If we move upwards, especially on the SPX, look for maybe moves of 5 to 7 points. I'd be very surprised if we have a day this week that runs more than 5 or 7 points up by the end of the day. A big 12-point run to the upside would be, I don't know, I think I'd be more cautious than ever if we saw a big move like that to the upside. Certainly not out of the realm, but I'd be very cautious on any kind of huge move to the upside. That just looks to me like it could be setting us up for a bull trap at that point. Be cautious with your trading. I'll be back with you again tomorrow. Let's see if we get some real trading. Maybe tomorrow. I would expect maybe tomorrow, but it could be Thursday before we get a good day, regardless of up or down, of tradable entries within the markets themselves. All right, see you then. Bye.